Hello students, myself Saraswati KB, Assistant Professor, Government First Aid College Tiptur, hereby presents the highlights of the induction session for Paper 1 Renaissance to Reformation prescribed for first sem optional English students, Tumkur University. The syllabus is divided into 4 units. The first unit is a bird's eye view of the history of English literature from the age of Chaucer to Puritan age. Literary texts are to be analyzed and interpreted keeping in mind the historical context in which they are placed. Historical context is an important part of life and literature, and without it, memories, stories, and characters have less meaning. In analyzing historical events, context can help us understand what motivates people to behave as they did. Context is an essential part of a literary text which helps us to engage the audience. Without context, readers may not see the true picture of a story or a literary work. Context helps readers understand the cultural, social, philosophical, and political ideas and movements prevalent in society at the time of the writing. History plays a fundamental role in shaping literature. Every novel, play, or poem one reads is influenced by the political context in which it is written, the people that the author knows, and the wider society that frames the entire work. The historical context of a text can be thought of as the time period in which the text was written. For example, a text written in the 19th century would reflect a different culture than the one that is written in the 21st century. The social context refers to the attitudes and acceptable behaviors in society of that time period. Social context is a reflection of how the character's actions and attitudes are affected by events occurring around the time and place where they live. Context refers to the social, cultural, and historical circumstances and setting at the time of which the author is writing. Historical context refers to the time period in which a story occurs. Both historical events like wars and time periods like the Great Depression of 20th century can influence a story. Scholars and editors rely on historical context to analyze and interpret works of art. Without historical context, we are only seeing a piece of the scene and not fully understanding the influence of the time and place in which the situation occurred. The whole of your syllabus in this first semester is divided into 4 units. The first unit looks into the social, political, and literary history of English literature from the age of Chaucer to the Elizabethan age, the Jacobean age, the Caroline age, the Puritan age, and the Commonwealth period. The second unit has some representative poets of this period and intends to introduce to the characteristic features of poetry during the period. So some of the important poems you are going to study are from Spenser and Shakespeare's sonnets, John Donne's Death Be Not Proud, and The Collar by George Herbert, and To His Coy Mistress by Andrew Marvell, and Lycidas by John Milton. The third unit introduces students to the essays of Francis Bacon, and in the fourth unit, William Shakespeare's renowned drama Hamlet is prescribed for your study. So there are some important historical facts which you have to remember while studying this entire syllabus. The learning objective of this syllabus is to enable the students to understand the progression of the course. So in this session of the PPT, I am just giving you a glimpse of whatever happens in this whole syllabus so that you will have an idea of what the syllabus is about. The learning outcome is to develop curiosity among the students towards learning language and literature in its historical context. The timeline of this period is from 14th to 17th century, we have some of the major historical events like the Black Death, which happened in 1348, and the beginning of Renaissance, which was in 1350. Then there are many inventions like the invention of the printing press, which remarkably changed the historical context of this period. And there were many wars such as the Spanish Inquisition, the 30 Years War, and the 100 Years War. And then we have this Reformation movement and also the Peasants' Revolt, which expressed the state of the people and its relationship with the society and its impact on the literary works of that period. The Renaissance and Reformation are some of the major movements of this time period, and they are discussed in detail in your second and third sessions. But just here to give you a brief idea of what is Renaissance, I'll just give you a brief introduction of what happened or why Renaissance was happened and the causes of it. We shall discuss it in detail in our coming PPTs. The Renaissance was an important event in European history. It stretched from 14th to 17th century. It was marked by a revival of classical learning and wisdom, and some of the significant changes that emerged as a result of Renaissance can be seen in architecture, art, literature, mathematics, music, philosophy, politics, religion and science. And naturally, we have to keep in mind the background or the Renaissance effect of Renaissance on the literary works of this period. Some of the major causes of this Renaissance, why did it happen? What were the causes for the emergence of Renaissance following the Middle Ages? Before this Renaissance, we have the Middle Ages, and before that we have the Dark Ages, and it was a transition period which introduced the whole of the European culture to modernism. This was a very high influence on the people of those times, and the causes of Renaissance were there was an increased interaction between different cultures. That was one cause. Then there was the rediscovery of ancient classics, Roman and Greek texts. There was an emergence of humanism, and there was different artistic and technological innovations, and the impact of conflicts and deaths due to wars or diseases were also seen as the causes of the emergence of Renaissance. The other major factor that influenced the literature of this period was the Reformation movement. It was a Protestant Reformation of the 16th century, and it brought about religious, political and intellectual and cultural upheavals, and it had splintered throughout the Catholic Europe. And it set in place the structures and beliefs that would define the continent in the modern era. Reformation's key ideas are a call to purify the church and a belief, it was based on a belief that the Bible and not tradition should be the sole source of spiritual authorities. So Renaissance and Reformation are some of the major historical contexts in which these literary texts are placed. So in order to understand these literary texts, you should have an idea of what is Renaissance and what is Reformation. Next comes the beginning, the 14th century, which saw the beginning of English literature. It began with the age of Chaucer, and this period from 1343 to 1450 is termed as the age of Chaucer. And during this time, there was a strong dislike for the church interference. There was a strong dislike for the people, and also that was reflected in the works of Chaucer in his Canterbury Tales. And there was a strong nationalistic passion because of this war, 100 Years War between England and France. And there was also a charged atmosphere due to peasants' upheavals. Wars led to peasants' unrest, and these peasants revolted against the king. The middle class emerged during this period, and that also reflected in its literature. You are not going to study any representative writings of this age, but you should need to understand what are the factors that led to the emergence of English literature in the 14th century. Next comes the age of Elizabeth, and it is characterized by a renowned sense of adventure and discovery, and this age is also considered as the golden age of English literature. English writers were intrigued and they were heavily influenced by the Italian Renaissance. And this era is also termed as an era of sonnets, and you are going to study some very important sonnets written by Edmund Spenser and William Shakespeare, and you can have a taste of the way in which these sonnets were written. And other important writers of this period are William Shakespeare, the university wits, Christopher Marlowe is very important among them, and Ben Jonson. So you are going to study the representative writings of Elizabethan age, which is reflected in their sonnets and also drama written by Shakespeare. Next comes this Jacobean age. It was a period in English and British history that coincides with the reign of James VI of Scotland. He was not a natural heir of Elizabeth. He was her nephew, cousin, and he had come from Scotland to rule over England. The Jacobean era succeeds this Elizabethan era and precedes the Caroline era. The Jacobean era ended with severe economic depression in 1620 and 26, and there was a serious outbreak of bubonic plague in 1625. During this period, we see the emergence of the greatest tragedies of William Shakespeare, and it had a dark mood which questioned the stability of the social order, which is reflected in Hamlet's drama when he says that all is not well in Denmark. And we also have some important writers like John Webster. He has also written plays which were preoccupied with the problem of evil. Then we have during this period we see these metaphysical poets, and whose representative works you are going to study. You are supposed to study George Herbert, and then John Donne, whose poem Death Be Not Proud is prescribed for your study. Next comes the Puritan age, and this age spans from 1620 to 1660. It may be divided into Jacobean and Carolean periods. They are so called because they were ruled by James I and Charles I respectively. This Puritan age was based on a doctrine or a school of English Protestants of 16th and 17th centuries, whose aim was purification of religious practice. They wanted to continue that reformation which happened in that period in the 15th century, where reformation supposed to change the manners of the church, of the corrupt church. John Milton was its major representative, and this age is also considered as the second greatest Renaissance. And for your syllabus, you are going to study Lycidas by John Milton, and To His Coy Mistress by Andrew Marvell. These poems gives you an understanding of how literary works were influenced by the characteristics of that period. After this Puritan age, along with it comes the Commonwealth period. There was a shift of rule after the death of James I in 1625. The new monarch, Charles I, he was not a successful king. He was tried of treason and then finally executed. He also suffered from unsuccessful foreign expeditions to France, etc. And there was a civil war between the supporters of the king and the supporters of this parliament, Roundheads and parliamentarians. This civil war took place in 1642, and it was led by Oliver Cromwell. Oliver Cromwell was a military dictator, and he ruled England, or the parliament ruled England for 11 years from 1649 to 1660. After Charles II was exiled during this period, during the rule of Commonwealth period. Later in 1660, after the death of Oliver Cromwell, his successor was not so efficient. So Charles II came back from France and restored the throne of England. Monarchy was abolished during this period, but with the coming of Charles II, it was restored, and that is termed as the Restoration Age. And that you are going to study it in the second semester, wherein you can understand what is this restoration and the characteristic features of the literature written during that period. Okay, dear friends, you have some references here. You can go through these references to have a better idea of what we have spoken just now. And then I wish to thank you for watching this video, and you can call me or you can speak to me regarding this. Thank you for watching.